what might be the best moped style e-bike of 2025 that's around $1,000. I say that because although this bike is around $1,000, it has a 1500 watt motor.
What?
Advertised to go like, I think like 35 miles an hour, something like that, which is pretty good if it's around $1,000, right? Also has a 48 volt, 25 amp hour battery. It's advertised to go 124 miles of charge.
Bruh. So
that's a lot for a bike that's around $1,000, but we're gonna test that out. And to help me unbox this bike, I have my fellow e-bike connoisseur and my brother Tyo with me. And Tyo likes the moped style e-bike. I'm usually hit or miss on them because a lot of times the seat is just too low to the floor. And a lot of times you can't adjust the height of the seat. But Tyo don't tend to mind because he's a little shorter than me. Right?
A little bit.
I'm 5'11".
Not by much, man.
Yeah. This bike weighs 100 pounds. The maximum weight of the rider is 265 pounds. To purchase this e-bike, feel free to use my link and my code in the description below to get a discount. Also, I am doing an e-bike giveaway. If you want to be included in this giveaway, you have to be subscribed to the channel and comment below on what type of e-bike you would like. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this, go through all the features, test out the speed, the range, and see if this is the best moped style e-bike that's around $1,000. That's probably the only place I visited. Well, you know what? This is what the bike looks like fresh out the wrapping. Looks like it was wrapped, I would say, moderately well. I usually see a little bit more, to be honest, but whoa, what is going on with this handlebar? Oh, the handlebar's not. Handlebar. Okay, what? I don't think I've ever had that before. So this is what the bike looks like without the wrapping. Looks like we're gonna have to put our handlebar on, which is interesting because it looks like the handlebar is kind of detached. Miss Heroes and stuff just said that it looks like you might be riding this bike laying down with your hands over your head, right? We're also gonna have to put this front wheel on, which is a 20x4. I guess it says Innova, and I guess this is like a street tire because it's not an all-terrain tire. Never had a tire from Innova before. If you have, feel free to comment below on your opinion. We're gonna have to put our front fenders on. Bike also came with a tire pump. They said that the bike is like 85% installed, so hopefully that's all we have to put on. We do have to put this on, but that looks pretty easy. We do have to remove this clip from the brake before we put the front wheel on. So this bike did come with a box, but it ain't nothing in there. Bike did come with some instructions. So it does look like the instruction manual has our advanced settings in it, which is good. A lot of e-bike companies don't show you advanced settings. So I'm not seeing any installation instructions. So usually when that's the case, usually the instructions are online. The bike did come with another box, which I think has our charger in it to charge our 48 volt, 25 amp hour battery. We put the front tire on, but there's no kickstand. We were looking for the kickstand, we couldn't find it in the box. Of course, nothing came in that box. Where the kickstand was. We get to see what the kit looks like that they sent us. Okay, maybe, hopefully this will be enough. All right, so. The installation of this handlebar seems pretty straightforward. We're just going to take this handlebar, put it in that hole right there. I guess you decide what kind of angle you want, and then you just tighten it up with the hexagon wrenches right here. Now the good thing about having a handlebar like this is you get to determine how wide do you want your handlebar. So why do we have to put this on the top of our front fork? All right, well, it's on there. And we also did not get the screws to put our front fender on. Luckily, I had some screws from some e-bikes that I had before. Hopefully, it'll fit. I guess we'll see. So we got this bike put together, only took us about 20 minutes. It did come pretty much pre-assembled. The size of this bike is pretty standard for a moped style e-bike. It's about 5 feet 5 inches long from wheel to wheel. The seat, which is not adjustable, the height is not adjustable, is about 2 feet 10 inches from the floor. The handlebar is about 3 feet 3 inches from the floor. Although these are street tires, these Innova tires, they do seem pretty grippy. Seem like they have some decent grip to them. So we're gonna go ahead and do a gravel test with this tire. And the tire seems pretty thick too. So they might be durable, but again, let me know if y'all have any experience with this tire. After you watch this video, I want you to go through some of my other moped style e-bike reviews and tell me, is this like the most interesting looking moped style e-bike that I've reviewed on this channel? You know what I mean? Like with this body that goes higher than the seat and all this. But I think it's an interesting looking bike, but let me know what y'all think. Look at that suspension. I like coil suspension over like air suspension because I do think it gives you more like rebound, more reaction. Give y'all an idea of this rear suspension. Now we also have this motorcycle style front fork suspension in the front of the bike, which is not adjustable, unfortunately. Give y'all an idea of this front suspension. Get a look at our rear and front 160 millimeter Logan hydraulic brakes. This banana style seat does seem pretty comfortable. It's a bit on the firm side, but seems like it's going to be pretty comfortable, and it has some good size to it. It's about 1 feet 6.5 inches long. It's about 6 inches wide. Seat is about 1 feet 10 inches from the handlebar here. Again, the handlebar width for the first time ever is kind of adjustable. Where we have it at now is about 2 feet 3 inches wide. This bike did come with 2 sets of keys. One of those keys can be used to remove your 25 amp hour battery. You put the key here, and then you can take this handle and lift the battery up that way. Honestly, never had this battery on a bike before, so I'm not sure if it's standard. So if somebody can maybe help me do the research, comment below on whether you can find this battery. Second set of keys is for your ignition start. And now you can press and hold your power button to turn your colorful display on. Looks like we have a few items on your panel over here on the left. First of all, we do have a horn. If you click this switch here, that turns our beefy headlight on. This rear light stays on while you're riding the bike, and it turns on when you turn the bike on. And that rear light is also a brake light. Looks like we have a twist throttle for throttle only. Under your display, looks like you have a USB charger if you want to charge your phone. We also have turner signals. So if I click this button here, I now have a turner signal in the front of my bike and on the back of my bike. These kind of turner signals are more noticeable than most. You have your standard Shimano 7 gear shifter. You have your more plastic chain wheel cover. I like the aluminum ones better. Looks like you have another anti-theft feature, which is these NFC cards. Probably in your advanced settings, you can change it to where the only way you can turn this bike on is if you scan this card. Now let's look at some of the basic items on our display. We have our battery life here at the top. We already charged the bike. We have our trip mileage. That's how many miles have I ridden on my last bike ride. We have our odometer. It looks like the bike turns off after a certain amount of minutes. I'm pretty sure you can change that in the advanced settings too. We have our speed calculator here. Pretty sure you can change that from miles per hour to kilometers if you want to. We have our pedal assist mode. Looks like we have 5 different pedal assist modes as I click my plus and minus button. If you quickly click your power button, you'll get more information. I click it, I can get my average miles per hour. I can get my maximum miles per hour. Now I'm gonna go into some of the advanced settings on this bike. Again, these are in your manual. To go into our advanced settings, we're going to press and hold the plus and the minus button, and I'm not going to go through all of them again because they are in your manual, but to go from one setting to the next, you quickly click the power button. Looks like we have only 3.
What?
Don't click the power button too quickly in order to go from one setting to the next. So P01 is how do we want to calculate our speed? Do we want to do miles per hour or kilometers? We're going to keep it at miles per hour. P02 is how bright do we want our display. P04 is where you can change how many pedal assist modes you have. We currently have 5, and you do have to enter a password in order to change this. I'm not going to let y'all know what the password is. If you want to know the password, comment below, let me know. But in order to go from one position to the next position on this password, you got to quickly click the power button twice. P05 is your limit speed. So what's the maximum miles per hour you can go on this bike? So I would say let's go ahead and take it up to And I doubt if it goes over 40 miles per hour, but let's go ahead and set it to 65. P06 is if you want to do like zero start, or if you want to do like a kick start. P08 is whether you want to engage cruise control or not. Okay, I'm not able to see any advanced settings outside of these 9. But if you know how to get to more advanced settings, maybe the pedal assist sensitivity, comment below, let me know. So, bro went on his first bike ride on this TAMOBYKE. What are your thoughts?
If we're gonna give this bike a nickname, it's gonna be Excite Bike.
Excite Bike.
This bike is fun, man. I ain't gonna front, man.
It's fun. You like it?
Yeah, it's fun. It's like you ever seen them Jason Bourne movies where he's just like in Paris, going downstairs, cutting through alleys, with all that stuff right there? That's how this one is right here, man. Just get, I'm gonna say that right now. Maneuverable in like tight little corners or whatever. Brakes on here are ghetto.
To break the ghetto? Because they loud?
It's loud, man. They work, but you're gonna wake up the whole neighborhood. This thing gets in the way a little bit. It's not overly annoying, but you know it's there because you kind of have to sit right here a little bit. And you kind of feel like, you kind of leaning forward like a little bit. It's not too bad.
You're saying that at what height?
I'm like 5'9.5".
5'9.5", okay. And you saying that you had to reach out 5 what?
I think 5'8.5".
5'8".
5'9". I was 5'9" today. All right, I was 5'9" today. It wasn't uncomfortable. You just kind of, you just felt like you was leaning forward a little. It's fast. This thing goes. If you're not ready for
the takeoff.
The takeoff, for that jet takeoff right there, man.
All right, so what'd you get this bike on a scale from 1 to 10?
Give this an 8.5.
8.5. All right. So, TAMOBYKE TB20, what are your thoughts?
I feel like this is I guess the way it's built is different. It's built on a slant. You gotta be careful where you sit, depends on how your arms will look like. I like to sit a little further back, therefore I like this on the bike.
And how tall are you?
5'9".
So you're basically saying you have to ride this bike like Tron back in the 80s. You know what Tron is?
No, that's before my time.
You're too young?
There was that the first cartoon.
Oh, you trying to make fun of me? Oh my God.
It's fast. Oh man, it's fast, it's smooth, it gets the curves right. The display is nice and big and colorful. The throttle is on point. The suspension is okay. It's not the best suspension that we've had for a moped bike, but I give the suspension like a 7. The handlebars are good. I feel like the tires handle off-road really well. The pedals are low to the floor.
Okay.
So when
a little too low?
Yeah, in my opinion. When I went up a hill, the pedals are scraping the hill.
So what do you get this bike on the scale from 1 to 10?
I'm gonna give this bike an 8.5.
8.5. Okay. All right. These are not all-terrain tires, but they are fat tires and they are pretty grippy. So I figure we go through some gravel here. Just how grippy these tires are. Yeah, there's quite a bit of slipping going on here. But I guess grippy enough if you were to ride this bike on gravel with brakes. Yeah. If you're to ride this bike on gravel, I would say just be careful. Now, I do think these tires are grippy enough for you to lean into your turns. I especially like leaning on a moped style e-bike because they are so close to the floor. You have more control over your lane. I will say with this bike though, make sure if you're leaning on this bike, make sure your pedals are like horizontal because the pedals are just a little close to the floor. It's not like real bad, but it is kind of close to the floor. So if you're gonna lean, just make sure that your pedals are horizontal like this, so that your pedals won't scrape the bottom of the floor. So we're not gonna test out the suspension. Gonna go through some grass and some hills here. See what the full suspension is like. All right, let's go up here. All right, not bad. I definitely have better. Let's keep going here. Yeah, suspension is not bad. I would say the suspension in the back is definitely better than the suspension in the front, but not bad though. I would say maybe it's in the top. Yeah, maybe it's in the top 10 for moped style e-bikes, mainly because of the suspension in the back. The one in the front is okay, but it definitely does its job. It takes a lot of the bumps and the cracks out of your bike ride. But let's go down here. Yeah, not bad. I say on a scale from 1 to 10, I get a suspension like an 8 because it feels like I don't know what kind of sensor this bike has, but it feels like a cadence sensor, which I like torque sensors better. But on mode 1 through 3, the pedal assist is pretty perfect on this e-bike. With it being a cadence sensor, I'm gonna show y'all I'm in mode 1 here. I wanna see how fast I go in pedal assist mode 1. Okay, so you see how it didn't send me flying and it wasn't delayed. Like the pedal assist was pretty much perfect. Let me go down a few gears. It looked like I'm going like 9 miles per hour in mode 1. Let me stop. I'm now gonna switch it to mode 3. Pedal assist is also perfect in mode 3. So start here. So kind of sent me flying a little bit. Yeah, I guess it's a little aggressive in mode 3, huh? But that's what makes me think it's a speed sensor, right? But I can't ghost pedal in mode 3, so that's good. Okay, let's brake in mode 3. Okay, brakes are decent. But if I switch it to mode 4, like it's just gonna send me, and I can almost ghost pedal a little bit. I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. Now, it's not as bad as some other bikes, but look, I can ghost pedal, right? So that means it's not really taking into account how hard I pedal. It's just trying to get me to that speed for mode 4. So I'm 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on. The size of this bike is a bit awkward for me because I have to scoot back on this seat, right? And so I can't rotate the handlebar towards me. So because I have to scoot back so that my knees won't be all high when I pedal, that means I have to lean forward to put my hands on the handlebar. So I kind of have to ride the bike like this if I'm pedaling. But I can do it. It's not bad. It's not unbearable. Like, I've been on this bike for about 30 to 40 minutes now. I feel very comfortable, mainly because of the seat. The seat is very, very comfortable, by the way. Nice and wide, but, you know, I can do this. And I don't know why it's so comfortable for me, but it seems like it's comfortable, but it's just an awkward way to ride a bike. So I do wish you could rotate the handlebar closer to you so I could maybe have more options on what kind of posture I want. And again, this e-bike is pretty comfortable, mainly because of the seat, and it's pretty stable too. And I think that's because of the weight of the bike and the weight of the battery. It kind of makes the bike really smooth and comfortable. Now, it's not so comfortable where I feel like I can ride without my hands on the handlebar. I'm gonna try here. Oh no. It's not that, but it is very comfortable though. Now the brakes, sometimes I hear the brakes, sometimes I don't. So I think the brakes might need a little lube. There we go. We're not gonna try max speed, throttle only, so I'm not pedaling at all. Trying to see just how fast we can go in throttle only. I'll tell you, I got up to 27, 28 miles per hour pretty quickly. 31. Okay. 32. 33. 34. Damn. 35. 35 miles per hour, max speed, throttle only. Now I will say I think this is a great bike for urban areas because it is compact enough. I'm at 5 feet 5 inches long. Even though the takeoff speed is a little fast, it's not so fast where I think you'll be putting other people in harm's way by being in an urban area. Let's see if we can make this really sharp turn here. Yep, made it with no problem. So yeah, great e-bike for urban areas. So we're not gonna try max speed pedal assist. See how fast we go here again. I'll maybe ghost pedaling a little bit because it gives you a little too much sensitivity. Just being like, what I'm saying is a speed sensor. All right, so right out of this turn, we're gonna try to gun it as much as I can. What's that? 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Oh, 35. So we're not gonna go max speed, throttle only. So I'm not pedaling up a hill. This is a pretty steep hill. It's about a 35-degree hill, and the hill has a turn. So we're gonna see how much speed we lose going up this hill. Looks like going into the hill, we're going 27 miles per hour. Let's see how much speed we lose. We're going into the steep part of the hill now. All right, 25. What the hell was that? 22. 20. 19. 18. 17. All right, so we lost about 10 miles per hour. TAMOBYKE TB20. I think this is a decent moped style e-bike for the price. What I like the most about this bike is the speed. Like I was able to go 35 miles per hour in throttle only and pedal assist. I also like all the bells and whistles. You got a headlight, a rear light, you got a brake light. You have turning signals, you have an anti-theft key starter, you have a horn, you have a USB charger that you can use to charge your phone. I do wish in the advanced settings you can adjust your pedal assist sensitivity. I didn't see it. The suspension on this bike is okay. I really like the suspension in the back, but the suspension in the front is kind of average. The fit of this bike is a bit awkward for me at 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on, because I have to be towards the back of this seat, right? Because I don't want my knees coming past my hips too much. But because the handlebar is not adjustable, I have to kind of reach to get the handlebar. And it's not bad though. Like I was on this bike for a while and it was pretty comfortable anyway. These road tires, they're not really all-terrain tires. They seem pretty durable and they have some good grip to them. The one thing I did not like about this bike was the battery life. Like I went on a 15-mile bike ride. I spent 3 of those miles going max speed pedal assist, 1 mile going max speed throttle only. I was mainly in mode 3. In that 15 mile, I lost 2 out of 5 battery bars. So that's more like 40 miles per charge based on my bike ride. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give this bike an 8. Comment below what you would give this bike on a scale from 1 to 10. Any other e-bike or electric scooter you want me to review, also comment below. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.